Magic. Who's your favorite uncle? Uncle Magic. That is the fucking best.
Kid comes in for like a second.
That was brilliant. 200,000 views.
Betwixt the ruby seas, deep in the eye of the storm, a bastion of beef and hope lies nestled in the sand. 4 men, almost lost to the deep, now find tranquility within its walls. And now they're inviting you in for a tale unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Andrew, take us away.
Alright.
Fuck you.
No, I genuinely used to.
I thought you were memeing. My day, I have not been.
No, you gotta ask us how our day is.
Oh, okay. Hey, boys. How's your day?
Hello.
Pretty good.
I'll get
dude.
more
Andrew's-
specific.
Andrew's flying right now. That's how his day's going.
Yeah.
Courtney, edit Andrew soaring above the fucking set.
Yeah, he's just chilling in the sky.
Now, if you comment
I
below
know.
He's
what
getting
drugs
too
you
close
think
to the sun.
Andrew's on, and you get it closest, you'll win an exclusive package of
Here's
the
a hint.
drugs
It's
that
black
Andrew
tar
does.
heroin.
Boys,
You will.
fleshlight.
Yes.
With all
Molded
of our
after
assholes
my
combined.
ass.
We should
No,
do
it's,
like
it's a quarter. It's a quarter of all of our assholes, and then you
I
like combine.
yeah. I call the
Yeah.
deepest. I only want like the big boys getting to me.
Oh.
we should. Because you can do those.
Those big
those,
lads.
you can
Courtney,
get
put
those
up an image
dildo
of a
making
big
kits
lad.
where you put your dick
Oh, yeah,
in like
Clone-A-Willy.
cement or whatever. Yeah, we should do that. But we just
I'm down.
we do that, but we just buy like this giant like horse cock dildo and then like mold
yeah.
that into it.
Here
and be
it
like,
is.
This is it, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like this is what our dicks look like.
It would be really funny to do like dick merch in the future, but like not one that's fuckable because that's kind of weird and I don't think it would sell that well. But like
Yeah,
we
no,
all
that's
we all
hella
mold
weird.
we all mold our dicks and then like once they're molded we have them made but like more artistically than a normal dildo and then we put them on like a fucking throne or something. We build like a chair. Like we build like the chair from Game of Thrones that instead of made thousands of swords melded together by a dragon, it's thousands of our cocks melded together by fucking like really yellow disgusting cum.
And, they're all
And the
welded
seat
together.
is like flattened out. Yeah, the seat is
Iron
flattened out
Dome.
except for just one single cock.
Except one
And
right in the
it's-
middle.
Yeah, right in the center. But it's like it's
Yes.
all 4 of our cocks made like into like slivers into one massive.
Yeah.
it's
it's like we're- It's like
the
that state
bottom
where you can
and then the middle and then the middle and then the head is like one part of each of us. And it fluctuates in and out.
They're all different colors.
You ever seen those glass dildos? That always stresses me out if you see that in like porn or whatever, because I just imagine the girl getting fucking one guy one jarred with that shit, you know? Like if it just
Yeah.
like I'm sure they're strong enough to not do that, but it's a scary thing.
They wouldn't shatter,
Yeah.
but they definitely could snap, and then you just like envelop it, and then the back end is all
Yeah.
cut. It's like, and then it's like you gotta get it out. You ever like poke a hole in like the top of your water, and you can stick your finger in fine because you're going with the smooth
Yeah.
part.
Sure,
but then
yeah.
when you come to pull it out,
You
it
pull it
clamps.
out.
So it's like it would just right in the pussy, and it would be fine and it'd be broken. But then when you go to pull it out, the shards would just fucking rub agained everything.
I
Yeah.
don't even got no pussy, and that scares me. You always hear those
Well,
stories about
that's because you're an
people
empath, brother.
That's true. you always hear those
Be an
stories
empath.
about dudes and shit who get like stuff stuck in their ass. Like they put like something up there that you're not meant to, and then they have to go to the hospital and get it pulled out. But I always never understood that, because like isn't the whole point of your ass that it just shoots stuff out? Like it just it's designed to.
Yeah, like up to a certain limit, because I feel like I've told this story before, but if I haven't, I'm just gonna tell it again really fast. But when I worked at the sex store, my manager was telling me that like one of our other locations, the manager there had to pull a giant butt plug out of some dude's ass. It was like he was like a
Like King
customer.
Arthur.
I don't get how that falls on the
yeah,
responsibility
it's
of
like
the sex store, unless they sell like, some kind of like Best Buy like guarantee where you know
I want
you
to
have
return
like the
this.
what do they call their people, like the fucking nerdsters or whatever the fuck, like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Geek
Geek
Squad.
Squad.
like like they have a fucking anus squad.
Just a gay squad.
Any sex gone awry that you can come in and they'll discreetly fix you and send you on your way.
Honestly though, that's like great, going above and beyond from the manager. Like there was nowhere in his contract that says he has to do that. He did that.
No, that is
purely out of,
crazy.
like,
Yeah,
was like,
Maybe
well,
it
I
was
think
out of
it's-
fetish.
Do you think
It
the
was
guy
like,
I think
you
moaned?
the
like seeing them
customer-
suffer.
Well,
He definitely might.
Like,
understood,
imagine you do a
from
solid for someone, you're pulling something out of their ass, and the guy just goes like, oh.
Put it back in.
Put it back in.
Now take it out again.
Well, from what I understand, the guy didn't want to go to the hospital because Courtney put it on screen. This is what it was. It was called the Ass Master 3000 or so. It had some like very generic name, but the dude put it in his
That's my
ass.
title as
and
well.
he didn't want to go to the hospital, so he went back to the sex store. And then the manager was like, "Yeah, I'll pull it out." And he like just
back.
basically slapped on some white gloves and went to work.
That's fucking epic. They should.
Yeah.
They should build in like trauma chips, like in Cyberpunk, into sex toys. And if they ever sense that they're lodged in your butt, like a fucking whole squad like pulls up in a flying car, and they fucking like point guns at everyone and extract the man or woman and fucking fix their butthole in the car.
Iron Man
It's like a NASCAR pit crew. Just come running.
Yeah.
He got with the electrical sounding rod. And passed out.
They need to have, for those really big dildos, they should have like a, you know, like a tow truck.
String.
They should have like a tow truck hook or whatever, so you can like,
Yeah.
like pull it out.
Yeah. They should just put a little bit of fishing wire on the end of butt plugs and stuff. So it's like you can't really see it. Like it's, you know, just do a little. You know, you can't see unless there's lights all over, and then if it gets stuck, you kind of just.
And then you can also whip
I'm
it
sure
around.
somebody has something like that.
Exactly.
Like you know, somebody built their room around like certain sex toys. Like I
Yeah.
want this to go in deep, but I got work in the morning, so I got to make sure I can pull this out. You know? My week actually has been enveloped by a little indie title known as Elden Ring. It's
He's continued
swallowed
playing
my
it.
life. It's honestly one of the greatest games ever made. I think I can. After spending as much time as I have with the game, I'm almost at level 50, and I've been putting in a lot of work.
Christ.
A lot of countless hours, sleepless nights. That game is fucking awesome, all right. And I'm not a Soulsborne player by any means, but that game is great. So if you like hard games, play it. That's my review.
I only played a little bit of it, but I feel like I need to. I'm still in that part of the game at the start where it's just really fucking hard, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn, like I've overcome some things and it is satisfying, but every time I think of loading it up, I'm like, I don't think I'm quite in the mood for it. Didn't help that I was quite hungover on the weekend, so the idea of like playing a stressful game like that when my brain's already not working to begin with, I know I just fucking beam the controller across the room. So it is, the little bit I played is really fun, but it's definitely a game you have to kind of get in the auto zone for.
Yeah, definitely. I love the shit out of it, and I'm not a big Soulsborne person either. But it does.
Sorry, that one was late.
Oh no, it's okay. It does bother me a little bit sometimes when it's like, when it's more hard in like a amorphous way instead of like directly. Like I understand that the combat loop, the gameplay loop is like die, learn, succeed. And then you're like, let's fucking go. But like not being able to pause the game, or like being able to fall 30 feet, but at 31 feet you fully die. Like you lose no health at 30, and then at 31 you fully fucking die. Like all of the kind of more like LOL, we fucking got you shit, where you lose like so much progress sometimes. It's like, which, you know, I still love the game in spite of that, but that has been something that over time, now that I've played so much of it, that is bothering me. It's like, bro, like fucking sometimes my cats want to come get pet. Why can't I fucking pause this shit? Like not pausing it in between when you go through the mist or some shit and you're fighting a boss. Yeah, I understand that, but like fucking why can't I just pause the game, bruh?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
like
I
take
get
it
that.
personally, like, oh, I have to find some nook and just pray to God that some random shit doesn't like run in and kill me while I'm
Well, actually,
but I do love it.
What made me fully understand the game was, one, you could fast travel to those grace points whenever you want. So like,
I know that.
If you're like in a dungeon and you want to pause, just fast travel to like the last grace point, and you can chill, pet your kitties, go take a piss. But like, it's definitely, and the thing I like about it is they don't explicitly tell you how to play the game, or they don't explicitly tell you like the correct path to go. Yeah, because like me, I got so pissed off because I kept dying, so I just started like forcing myself to explore. And like, if you just explore and just like kill little enemies and then medium enemies and then big enemies, like eventually you're like, okay, I understand this process now. And like now I barely die. It's like, you know, I only die if like go to like some crazy fucking area that I shouldn't go to yet.
Yeah.
But the game kind of like leads you in the right direction, like in terms of like different items you can get. Like you can upgrade your thing where if you do fall, you take less fall damage. So that's something you can't upgrade over time. So like learning that and like understanding the game has like made me appreciate it a lot more than I initially thought I would.
No, definitely.
It's epic.
I almost think like Dark Souls in that sense is like, even though it makes no sense at face value, it's almost a really good game to like start gamers on. Not like little kids, but like, you know, you're kind of getting into those teen years and you want to learn how to play a game other than like, so like if
First close.
yeah, like if I feel like because it teaches you like, it punishes the shit out of a player that just wants to rush through things and like teaches you to slow down, take a breath, take a beat, explore, see the kind of cool things in the game, really learn the combat system instead of like, you know, in Fallout, all I ever did in Fallout was just get a fucking super hammer, whatever the fuck those things are called, and like melee in every Fallout is like broken, so like that would help me explore more because I didn't have to focus on the combat, but also like a lot of the cool encounters were kind of lost because all I did was beat people's heads in and upgraded the shit out of my armor and stuff. So like I think Dark Souls is like a really good way to like get people to like slow down with games, and I also think it's it's really interesting, like a byproduct of making such a hard fucking game that people are like, no one cannot get angry at the game, like everyone's gonna be angry at it at some point. It's like I feel like it, not that it has a lot of like problems that I've seen, but I feel like if you make a game purposely hard, a lot of the problems that might be like glaring in another game that people might be upset by, people might actually write off into the game as like, oh no, they did that. It's like, oh, you can't do this. They meant for you to do that, but your like slate wants to say no, that's like they made it like that, like that's like you want to say no, that's like a bug or that's stupid or I don't like that, and like, but your brain's just like no, they probably did that on purpose because they don't like me or some shit, which I feel like contributes to the success of the Soul series, because it's like you never hear anyone saying like a Souls, like this glitch in a Souls game or this thing is bugged or like this enemy's like even too hard comparatively to, it's just like it is what it is, and you'll accept whatever's there because it's like it's meant to be fucking broken and hard anyway.
I do like the
exactly.
You made a good point there, that the fact that it is so hard, like, you have to engage with the systems in the game and explore and do things. Like that's been a big critique, and I think I've said this before in other games. I always pick the hardest mode, not to fucking jelk myself off or whatever, but because so many modern games are built like so you can just, you know, brain dead run through the whole thing, main story, don't touch a single side quest, never upgrade your armor, never do anything, and just like and win, because I guess they don't want to piss off the game reviewers who've only got like a week to play it.
That's true.
But then if you actually crank up the difficulty, because I like, you know, crafting good gear and exploring deep into things like side quests and getting rewards and like building a good character and like, oh, actually I need to figure out my talents so that I don't, you know, so that I can do this better. Like I like engaging with those systems because it feels more rewarding when you then succeed in something. But the fact that you have to do that in Elden Ring, there is no like easy mode, like click this on and now you can just burn through the main story without engaging in anything, any extra stuff. It's like, I think that's cool because it's like, why do you spend all this time building all these systems, building like the level up system and the RPG mechanics and the vendors and crafting and all that shit if you're not going to make people actually use them?
No, definitely. I totally agree.
I think it's neat.
I was fucking, I think I hit level 30 before I even fought the first boss. And like I fought a few side bosses just because I encountered them on my own. But like the first main boss, like, you know, once you go under that big bridge, no spoilers, it's just you, if you played it, you know, like you go under this big ass fucking bridge and then basically you get to an area and there's a big man. That bridge, I love that bridge encounter. I always love, I don't want to spoil it because it's a cool moment, but it's like, it reminds me of like Fallout 3 when you see your first super mutant. It's not scripted, but they know that almost everyone is going to go through there and like peep that fucking enemy that is so fucking different than all the other enemies. The Capitol building is where the super mutants are housed, but on your way, I think you have to go through a subway basically to go from like basically the first area of the game into like the downtown areas of DC where a lot of the bigger shit happens. And at the end of a long ass fucking green subway tunnel, there's just a giant your first super mutant like standing there. And
I remember that moment well.
I love fucking moments like that. But forcing everybody to like actually interact with the game systems because you just can't beat it any other way. So many games, like I love the Outer Worlds, but like the Outer Worlds, there's so many options to build a character, and none of them are fleshed out enough, really, in my opinion, that like it almost just feels bloated for no reason. And it's like I didn't even end up really specializing in that game because you didn't have to. And whereas I do like being put in a tiny fucking box like a rat, and you just light the match, and I have to dig through someone's sternum to figure out like what my good character is. So yeah, no, I totally agree. I love how it forces you to interface the game, unless you're just like some god that can, you know, one tap everybody.
I've seen, and even then, like the shit on Twitter, every single clip I see of someone playing it, like just YouTubers or whoever the fuck I follow on Twitter, like everyone's got such a different thing going for them, you know, like there's one dude's using magic. I don't even fucking have magic, so I'm like, how the fuck does that work? Like I went samurai,
it's epic,
and then but like magic seems broken as fuck, but then you see this other person, they're fighting like a completely different way with some other shit, and I'm like,
Critical's doing like a naked build and shit, so it's just like
is it Richard or whatever, or
I think that's what he's doing.
So I'm also quite interested in like, I'm not a Soulsborne player, I guess none of us really are, but I know that these games are like famous for having crazy secrets, like just hidden walls, crazy hidden things here and there, or like a lot of it seems really cool, like word of mouth shit, especially with the floor messages in game, the way people spread stuff like
and
that.
the blood stains are really
the best
funny
shit.
too.
I've had my first actual useful message, because most of them are just really funny, like 10 times out of 10 are like pretty hilarious, just the creativity that people
wave here and you'll get a secret, and then you spend 5 minutes waving, nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. But I had one where someone said like treasure chest ahead, and it was pretty obvious once I realized it, but it was like in the back of a carriage. I don't know if you've seen those treasure chests, but like it wasn't inherently obvious to me, because it's just like this big gothic carriage looking thing. There's a lot of detail in it. I didn't notice that there was a chest in it. So the fact that there was one that said chest here, I was like, oh, there is. I wouldn't have noticed it otherwise, and so I jumped up. I got some good gear out of it, and I was like, oh, okay, awesome. So that was like, okay. I was like, that's how that's in theory meant to be used for.
It's cool to learn that shit from like OGs that are leaving messages for people, because it's like a lot of people will leave messages even at the start of the game, just giving you tips on how to play the game, but like even at certain areas, like make sure to hit chest before open, or like beware of doorway or something, because like sometimes a lot of OGs that play Souls games will hit every chest before they open it in case it's a
Mimic.
You know, a mimic or whatever, or like I got hit with this yesterday like 3 times in a row in one area of the game. Like you're just walking beyond like there's like walls on your left and right, and you're just like walking beyond it, and there's an enemy waiting there that's, as soon as you pass it, stabs you in the back, and you lose like 3/4 of your health. But like people that play the games roll across every threshold or through every door. So it's really cool to like learn that shit. It's cool to kind of be like the little brother now, because again, I'm good at video games. I play a lot of video games in my time, but like now I feel like the little brother, like with my big brother, big sister watching me play, like giving me tips, like, oh, you might not want to. Also exactly in that same way, because some people will leave shit that's just complete bullshit.
I've heard there's
a thing
there's a thing in the Japanese version of the game where people have been leaving, I guess, I don't know if it's auto translates from English or if people are just doing it in Japanese for the meme, but they've been leaving like the Japanese character for fort and the Japanese character for night everywhere.
I came across one that said Fortnite, like Fortnite,
I've seen
it in English.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those, but then I've seen like I saw a tweet. I don't know that this is real or not, but apparently there was like people in the Japanese Elden Ring community theorizing like maybe there's like some secret boss at a fort. There's like this knight you can find at a fort. Like some people were looking for like a special secret fort where there's like this night boss or whatever. They just didn't realize.
Fucking epic.
It was funny.
Now, what I find really interesting
the guy left
is
the message just like Fortnite.
Andrew's actually beaten the whole game. He's like almost about at 100% and shit. So I was, you've been pretty quiet, but I'm like wondering what your thoughts are so far on, all this.
I think it's.
Did you see the meme someone made where it was like the Ubisoft version of Elden Ring where they've got like 50 fucking things on the screen at all times and markers everywhere and like quests on the side and all the shit. It was a pretty good edit. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Actually, and speaking of, did you see the I think it was like some developers from like Horizon Zero Dawn and I want to say maybe Ubisoft having like a go at Elden Ring, like kind of.
Yeah, that shit was super cringe.
Oh, I did see that.
I did see that.
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Come
like
on,
apparently user experience doesn't matter to games anymore or something like that. It was fucking.
It's like,
but
it's
he
like,
got
yeah,
dunked
the
and
UI
then privated his shit anyway.
It's like the UI is kind of AIDS,
I've had
but
ounces of more fun in Elden Ring than any single Ubisoft game I can think of.
He's not even saying UI. It was UX, user experience. So they're basically saying the way that the player interfaces with the game. They're basically saying they don't like hard games. Like, I can't believe a game with it's so fucking stupid. But
it was one of the quest designers for Horizon as well. He said like, oh, the quest design is pretty much non-existent in Elden Ring. And it's like, it's because you do it yourself. You don't get a quest that says go pick 10 berries or whatever shit you do in Horizon. No shitting on Horizon, by the way. They're fun games, but it's like...
Yeah, Horizon's cool, but it's definitely another one of those RPGs where they're like half the quests are like, oh, we don't really know what to do, but this area needs something in it. It's beautiful. People should explore it. Let's put you have to escort this person to this city and then make sure you talk to this guy and bring his berries and gold back to this. And it's like, you know, no one wants those fucking quests. You just didn't think of a better way to let people explore your fucking world, which I thought I wasn't gonna like, not having almost like any input. Like, I like not having my handheld, but like almost no markers or quest log or anything. Like, I thought I wasn't gonna like that because I got a little bit of OCD and like really not in like the cringe white girl way. So like when I play when I play RPGs, like I'll be doing a quest and then get another thing pinged and I'm like, oh my god, that's so fucking interesting. So then I'll start doing that and then like another one, and it's like I'll turn 1 hour. I just wanted to play for an hour and now I'm playing for 4 or 5 because like I like cannot stop until I firstly finish the thing I want to do, but also all the other
like
interesting things.
Layers deep.
Yeah. Exactly. And I like doing that, but I always get overwhelmed and end up getting frustrated because I want to know all of it, but I don't have the time or the patience to know all of it like today. So now but like in this, and I thought this is even going to be worse because I can't even log any of this stuff. I'm going to get so confused, but this is just like, there's none of that to overwhelm me. So it's like, you know, I'll do that thing. And if it brings me somewhere else, it's like, okay, I don't even remember what the fuck I was doing. I don't really know. I'll just follow the grace point if I want to get back on the main quest line and like the little grace like tails that go in the sky. Yeah. And it's just like, I never feel overwhelmed. The game's just kind of carrying me, you know, I'm just getting carried by the wind like a little fucking lost balloon and I'm just like doing my thing. And it's like, I feel so, in a weird way, I feel almost more calm playing a game like Elden Ring as opposed to like most other RPGs where everything is so like regimented.
Yeah. One thing I really liked is how like when you go to find some shit, like some dude was like, go to where you hear a howl, and when you hear a howl, snap your fingers, do your step, and then I went out into the forest, and then I heard howling,
and then you went after the party.
That's what's up, and then. Yeah, I went out into the forest and then I heard the howl and I was like,
man, yo, I'm loving it.
And then, man, yo.
That's what's up.
And then, well, that's how I was once I figured out that's where I needed to go. But yeah, I love the quest delivery in that game. It gives me a fucking massive heart on. It's epic.
I'm glad we got to talk about this. We've been talking for like 15 minutes now, so I think let's move on. But I'm glad we got to talk about it again because as most of you probably know, last week's episode got totally fucked. It was my fault. My computer died. It burned one side of it and then corrupted the other side of it. So like the whole episode was fucked. And we talked about this for like half an hour and we had so many good bits and this was kind of more just gushy. But shout out Elden Ring. If you want to know what we talked about last week, some Elden Ring shit. I don't even remember the rest of it, but like there was some good that was a good ass episode. If you want to at least be able to listen to it, maybe we'll throw it up on Spotify or we'll throw it up on Patreon as like just a little fucking, you know, the lost episode or some shit.
Yeah. We'll look into that.
Now, Andrew, where are we going next?
I'm taking you to the port of Weird Wedding Stories.
Okay. WWE.
So,
Wait.
I woke up this morning feeling like P. Diddy. And I had a memory come to me, and I've never forgotten it because it made me cringe to my core. I was at a buddy's wedding, and
was this buddy Christian?
As in, like, of the faith?
Yeah,
or his name?
No, of the faith.
Yes, but these are my college friends. They shoot more to my side of the fence of things than they do the weird people.
Yeah.
So has he ever had sex before this moment?
Huh? Give us
I can't remember, and if he did, I don't know how many people he would want me to shout that out. So I'm pleading the fifth. I don't remember.
It was slang puss.
But his cousin was his best man, and he gets up to do the speech. And I don't know.
And his wife.
Yeah. Deluxe, you really cannot do this to me.
Sorry.
I'm taking so much to focus here. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen the niche cartoon show Rick and Morty. It's kind of only for really smart people.
Rick
and Morty.
Rick.
But there's a scene in I can't remember what episode or season, that Rick Sanchez gives a really terrible and sad wedding speech. That's basically like nothing matters. Rick and Morty, wubba lubba dub lub, everybody. His cousin took that speech and replaced a couple of names and gave the full speech as the best man speech, and then sat down. And dude, I can't even begin to express to you how uncomfortable that was. I was looking around at my other friends, and we were all like, "Is he doing this speech right now?"
Wait, so you noticed it off rip? Like,
dude,
like you recognized it?
This is wicked.
So we all had, not to be hipsters or nothing, but me and my friends found Rick and Morty before it went mainstream.
That's almost worse than that. Like, it wasn't like widely known. Like, the parents and shit wouldn't have got it to begin with. But the fact that like most other people probably wouldn't have either was just like, so he just sounded like a super nihilist.
Maybe he forgot and just needed something.
No, I know for a fact he didn't do that because he made a joke about doing it, or he said he was gonna do it to somebody. Because I either asked my buddy or a friend of ours who he told, like, did he actually tell you ahead of time he was gonna do it? And he was like, yeah.
He didn't veto that? Fuck.
He thought he was joking. He was like, that is.
Oh no.
Just like he can't be serious.
Yeah.
Surely no one would do a Rick and Morty reference at a wedding.
It's like it's like people always insult people in wedding speeches. So it was just like, yeah, and my cousin Victor getting married. He's such a stupid little yellow shirted idiot. He got big eyes, and the
whole family's going nuts.
And yeah,
dictionary defines the word gay.
He's not 12.
For those of you who don't know the speech and want to just like YouTube Rick Sanchez bird person wedding speech. I'm sure somebody's clipped it and been
put 7 seconds of it.
Did you guys
right
think
here.
this was You'll find it, and then just replace the end names with whatever names you think it might be.
Do I have any weird wedding stories? I haven't been to a lot of weddings. Honestly, the worst thing that happened to me on a wedding was, which it's not bad to me, but it'll be bad to everybody else. I just think it's fun. After my aunt's wedding in like 2012, I went and saw The Hobbit. I had no one liked that movie, so it was
At
like,
the wedding?
yo. No, like we went to the wedding and then I went to The Hobbit, and then a girl I liked fell asleep while watching it, and I was just like, "Damn, I don't like you anymore. That's fucked, bitch."
You bitch.
I've never figured out people who fall asleep in movie theaters. Like, how tired are you? Like, you paid money to be there.
Just
I've
burn
also,
$10 to sleep in
I don't know.
public and get hemorrhoids.
I went to watch Batman versus Superman. Awful fucking movie.
Okay, that would be a movie you'd fall asleep in. To be fair.
I fell asleep to that movie. I passed the fuck out. I'm pretty sure me and everybody I went to that movie with, we all fell asleep. So I remember like kind of like waking up and I looked like to my left and right. Everybody was passed out.
Actually, that's true. I went to go see a movie with Matt Damon, I think, about the Boston Marathon bombing or some shit, and it was just a weird fucking movie. But it was like me and my friends were the only ones that saw it as like opening day or some shit too, and the whole shit was empty. So I went up to like I got bored and went up to the top of the theater and like pushed all the armrests up and just like laid out across like 5 seats and just went to sleep.
Took off all your clothes.
I never told this before.
Yeah, exactly. Put my dick in between the slot of 2 seats. There's like I put like gum there to make it soft and just fucking
fuck
it. And the people who are sitting behind you, they just see your penis like on the other side.
You thought you were in the theater alone, but you actually weren't.
Yeah.
There's one
an old
person.
Once I was like, what is a snake?
One time I was visiting my hometown. It was like I'm from like a college town pretty much. So if you go there out of university time, it's just fucking dead. So I went there.
Yeah.
I went there like midday on like a Tuesday with my friend Sean, and we were like just looking for something to do. And we saw this. It was like a World War II zombie movie. It sucked ass, but we were like, oh, that's an interesting idea. I couldn't even tell you the name of it, but we were like, fuck it, we'll just go
Nazi
watch
zombies.
It was called
Nazi
Nazi
Toten?
Zombies the movie. But
You know der Toten?
I have no idea. Either way,
Verrückt?
it was not a good movie. But we were the only two people in this entire
Sleepless
theater,
in Seattle.
and we just sat there, and it was such a fun experience being
Shut
the
up
only
now.
2 people in a giant fucking theater because we just screamed at the like we were just talking super loud, screaming, like ripping the whole thing out. But like we kept looking behind us because we were so worried that like, you know, just some asshole was gonna come in. Even like an hour into the movie, there's still just people who just like show up, I guess.
Yeah.
So we
That's the
kept looking
weirdest
behind us
shit.
because we were so worried some guy's gonna be really late, but still wanted to see the last half hour of the movie, and then just now sitting behind us while we're like screaming at it.
I hate people that come into movies late because I get real fucking. I'm very scared of movie theaters, even though I love going to see movies because just mad shootings and bombings and shit happen at movie theaters. And
Yeah, same here.
I'm a very paranoid person also. So I always, if I can help it, I always buy my shit ahead of time online and pick the seat. If I can't pick the seat, I don't go to the movie. And I always pick the top back leftmost seat, so I'm basically sitting in the aisle in the very back so no one can get behind me, and I can just jump over the ledge if someone comes in with a gun and just like land on the runway and run out the fucking door. Because I'm like terrified of that shit. But one time I couldn't get that because I went to go see an IMAX movie for Spider-Man like 4 years ago or some shit, and this dude came in like an hour late and couldn't find his seat, and he ended up just watching part of the movie standing next to me in the aisle, just like leaning on something.
Man.
But like a little behind me, right, like in my peripheral, but I could only like kind of see a blur of him being there. And like I had like this intense feeling that he was just gonna fucking grab me and slit my throat. Like I couldn't get over that the whole time.
Performs a
like,
stealth kill.
dude, it was getting me. It was like getting me so anxious that I started getting angry because I just got like that monkey brain shit, and like I just wanted to beat the shit out of him because it's like who does that? That's so fucking weird. Like I would never just stand behind someone in a dark room like that where where everyone's supposed to be sitting. It's like you're a fucking weirdo.
That is really fucking
That's my
weird.
like my one power trip thing I do is if someone, I'm very like a stickler for people sitting in my seat at the theater. Like, so if I come in, like,
you're that guy.
well, because usually most things I'm just like fucking whatever. Like if it's not a big deal, I don't give a shit. But there's something about someone sitting in my seat. Because again, I'm like you, James. I book ahead. I pick good seats.
Yeah.
I pay in advance so I can get that perfect middle, whatever the shit, straight on. And so when I come
the
in,
audio,
and some assholes just like rocked up on the day, bought a ticket, and then sat in my seat and hoped that like there'll be all goods. I'll be like,
true.
I'll be like. So
It's
you're sitting in my
disrespect.
seat, and sometimes they're like, you just sit on the side. And I'm like, well, no, because then if I sit there and then someone else comes in and I'm in their
exactly.
seat, now I'm like,
You're playing
it's a
pinball.
domino thing. Yeah, exactly.
No, you're the asshole.
Yeah, so I'm like, no, get the fuck out of my seat. And to be fair, I've never really had that much issue. Like, there's only been one time I think where someone's like, can you just sit over there instead? I've been like, no. You're in my seat. Get out,
dude. No, I shouldn't have said you're that guy because I only said that because I've seen that's never happened to me, but I've seen that happen. But if that happened to me, I would say something also because it is like, yes, I finally have a little power here, but also like the implied disrespect to take my seat is just like. It's just, you know, like, it's just like, what, you think I'm a little bitch walking in and I'm not going to say something?
Yeah.
But the last time I went to a movie, it was the new Spider-Man movie. It's fucking epic. But I got there like mad early. I went to go sit down. Everything starts filling in. It was a packed theater. Every fucking seat was full. And a few minutes after I come in, a couple comes in and they have a bunch of shit, and the guy like forgot something at the counter and also had to go to the bathroom. Like I heard him say, I'll be right back, and he's not back for like 15 minutes. And the girl sits down and she's kind of just sitting there, and then these 3 dudes that are together come up and like they're like, oh, you're in our seat, blah blah blah. There's so much time to the movie, so it's not a big deal, but they're just like standing there talking over me because I'm aisle, the next girl's in, and the 3 dudes are standing in the aisle. They're just like talking over me, like, how did you're in my fucking seat? But this girl's like, my boyfriend's not back. I can't move until he comes back because he's not gonna know where I went or something. Like he expects me to be sitting here, so I know it's your seat, but I'm gonna move.
He'll
they
beat
didn't
me
get
if he doesn't see me here.
They didn't seem like they spoke much English, so they didn't really understand. So they just started getting like angrier and angrier, like, you're in a fucking seat. And it's just like, and she's just like, I'm just waiting for my boyfriend. And it's just like, I was just standing there, just like, oh man, I can't wait to see Tobey Maguire. It's just gonna be epic, bro. And it's just like the most awkward. And then he finally came back, and she could leave, and he's like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And then they're like, no, this is our seat. And then it was fucking AIDS.
Pounding their chest.
So, because I've heard, because here and in New Zealand, you always have like assigned seating, but I've heard at some theaters in the States, it's not that, or depending on where you are.
Only until a few years ago you could buy your seats ahead of time like that. Like, I feel like in New Zealand, like maybe you beat us to it, but like 20 years ago, how are you gonna pick your seat if you're just walking up to the box?
Exactly. Or not even that. Like, I don't even think you get. I've heard.
Oh, your ticket comes with an assigned seat on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I've heard there's some where it's like it's a ticket get in first come first serve. Yeah, because we don't have
theaters did that.
Until you could custom pick your seat, at least in my experience, until you could custom pick your seat, which started like 5-6 years ago maybe. Before that, it was just you rock up to the box office, you buy your ticket, and everything's fair game. Like in the theater, you kind of just like pick.
You
where
can
you
sit on
go.
someone's lap if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But that reminds me. I have a question for you guys, because The past few days, Sabrina and I, we've been having a conversation. Mostly me just complaining about humanity. But I was curious about your guys' thoughts on this.
I
feel like
from Dark Souls? Wait, humanity from Dark Souls?
We've potentially discussed this in the past, like forever ago. I don't even know if it was here or if it was elsewhere. But what would you guys say is a good basis on whether or not you deserve to inhabit the population? Example. So like when you're going to a grocery store, right, and you see somebody who's pushing their shopping cart, they're going back to their car. Yeah. Oh, but they're so lazy, they don't want to take it back to the thing it goes in. So they just put it in a fucking either a parking spot or just the middle of the road, or they just fucking like toss it into a bush.
Is this a random thing you have, or are you drawing this from the shopping trolley? Like, it's not called paradox, but there's like the shopping trolley, because this is right, like a concept.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll get there. So, because Kudos, your bit reminded me of like just inconsiderate people in general, people who don't do that, return shopping carts. I personally believe that they should not exist on Earth. I feel like it should be punishable by death, execution, firing squad. Fucking inject them with nitroglycerin, piss on their grave, and just fire them off to space. So I was curious.
Vote them out in the meeting, bruh. Fucking
suss them out. So what would you guys say is another good basis in terms of who should exist amongst humanity if you can
people
perform very simple task?
Dead.
I agree.
People that treat waiters bad, absolutely dead. If I ever went out with I had a friend that used to not treat waiters bad, but would just never say please or thank you, and would just like look off say something and then look them off and like expect them to leave. And he would tip like shit too, so I would always say please and thank you for him before and after he fucking spoke, and he never picked up on it because he's so brain dead. I would always say please and thank you for him. I would tip extra because I knew he was gonna tip like shit. And if he like looked off a waiter and like grabbed them and said, hey, can I get more water? And then I would be like, oh, hey man, like I would try to like be nice and ask for something to like end the experience positively so he doesn't think I'm a piece of shit. So people that treat, which I don't want my friend to die, but people that go out of there, so like people that aren't aware enough to treat a waiter nicely is one thing, but then people who like purposely are like, yo, you're my bitch for the next 2 hours, fuck you. because I was
no.
a bartender and a waiter
Big
for
facts,
years.
I agree.
Yeah, you
fuck
could
that.
you could relate to that. Yeah.
My
Quick
brother
aside
had-
on that, I went to a business trip once with one of our bosses to a hibachi grill in Vegas, and this dude tipped 5 cents, and I've never been more angry in my life. I
That's
gave the
more
dude
offensive than
$40.
zero.
That's
I know.
fucked up.
Yeah,
that
like
is.
5 cents.
Here's a nickel.
No,
Yeah,
it totally is. Trust me.
Yeah.
As a former bartender and server, leaving a very, very purposefully small tip is like how you insult someone more than not leaving anything. Because it's like,
exactly. Yeah,
that's fucked up.
garbage.
You got to tip with
Yeah.
one of those
Anyway,
little cards
Andrew.
that says like I'm praying for you or whatever. Like,
It was those little pencils.
your tip
like
is
little
eternal
tape to the business
salvation.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your tip is my
Anyway, Andrew.
service to this country.
Just do that, and then just underneath put your YouTube channel URL.
Yeah. Andrew, what are you gonna say about your brother?
Oh, my brother has a story about I don't think he's really friends with him anymore, but former friend of his like high school friend group who they were at some restaurant. They're all eating. They're having a good enough time, and my brother, he's like, this dude grabs his cup as the like waitress is going by.
Oh,
it's
no.
empty, and he goes
And he shook the ice.
and he shook
Yeah.
it. Like he didn't even really make eye. He
come
just
on,
shook it.
dude.
And my brother, he's like, all of us looked at him and we're like, you did not just do that in
Yeah.
front of us.
Yeah.
I've had
We
people
will
do
end
that
your
before.
shit.
It makes you feel like a fucking dog. It's like so
Yeah.
fucked up. That's when you.
Oh.
Dude, I've spit in so many people's shit. I don't give a fuck. But
Yeah.
that's if you shake something at me or whistle or snap when I'm walking away or something, like if you couldn't even remember my name or like if you do anything to get my attention that's like animalistic, I'm gonna spit in
Right, yeah.
everything. I'm gonna spit in your kid's fucking cheese quesadilla too.
Spit in your kid's
Take
asshole.
it AIDS and give it to you.
That's fucking based. Well, speaking of, I think going off the movie theater thing before, for me, it's people who talk loudly in a movie. Like, if you want to, if you gotta want to whisper some shit like deep in someone's ear canal so that no one can
Yeah.
fucking hear it except them. Oh yeah, get that the ASMR shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. I prefer none at all. But if you
I'm
go,
going to get more Twizzlers. Do you want anything from concession?
anything?
see that at least, like if that was the conversation, like, oh hey man, I'm getting some snacks. I'd be fine with that because that's probably like you're gonna do
Yeah.
that once in
Yeah,
the movie.
definitely.
But the people like when the movies go on, they'll be like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if this happened here?" And you're like,
It'd be funny if Spider-Man was also Superman. Hmm?
"Yeah."
What
Or
do you
like
think?
when I saw Spider-Man. By the way, spoilers for the new Spider-Man movie. Fuck you. But there's a part where What have you? I'm
No,
assuming
I
you
don't, dude.
Anyway.
I don't give a shit.
So obviously Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in it, and Tobey Maguire
Right.
is typically the fan favorite. Not as many people liked the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, but they're whatever. But there was like people
Yeah.
like I guess it was just a group of just one people, but they were like kind of fake booing him when he came on screen. They'd be like, "No, get Toby back on," kind of shit. And it's like, can you go fuck
That's
yourself?
so fucked.
It's
yeah,
like,
like
I get-
it's-
okay, you don't
It's
like
not like
it.
he's there.
Yeah, you don't know the Andrew
Who
Garfield
are you
movies,
booing
whatever,
it?
that's fine. But it's like, now you're just ruining this movie because
Yeah.
you didn't
Yeah.
like that movie. And
That's
it's
so
like,
interesting too, because in my experience, like people were riding for Andrew Garfield OD because like
Yeah.
like he was a great Spider-Man. It's just his movies were written and directed pretty shittily in my opinion. And
Yeah.
they weren't the most interesting Spider-Man, and they were pretty bad villains. But like people were riding for his shit in my theater, and like there's talks of like giving him his final entry into like making his shit a trilogy like the other Spider-Mans, because like people fucked with his performance so much when he was in a Spider-Man film that actually had potential,
Yeah.
like from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So anyway, fuck
But
those
that's so-
people.
yeah,
So
that's
if you
AIDS.
did that in a theater, you're getting made into popcorn. That's the punishment.
I will say,
Yeah.
when I go, this is why I try to only see movies by myself. One, I like it, but two, I can't. I'm a funny guy. I can't help but
Hey,
make
I'm a
jokes.
funny
and,
guy.
and
Funny guy.
you're in a
He's a
fucking
funny guy.
pitch black, meant to be quiet, like very focused
Yeah.
room. It's like that makes jokes 50 times funnier. So I'm just
Yeah.
so like when I go to see movies with like close friends of mine, but I'll always whisper them really, really quiet and like super discreetly. So like I don't think you would hate me, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
I do be cracking jokes, but very
I
quietly
get it.
in my, busting in my boy's ear canal type beat. But there's like making jokes, getting a laugh in a movie theater from one of your boys while they're trying to focus on a movie is like fucking making your friend laugh during a test in school or some shit. It's like the
Yeah,
best shit
no,
ever.
I agree. There's
true.
definitely it's how you do it, because you'd think it would be common knowledge if you're gonna speak to someone in a theater, do it quietly. But people would just be like, just kind of just talking normally. They'll just be like, oh man, that was kind of weird. They'll be just saying shit out loud to the people next to them. It's like, can you
ever try to, dude? Some people try to make jokes like out loud to the theater.
To get the whole
crowd.
That shit hurts.
I've been wanting to. I've had a thing about this. I can combine something
That
from
shit
like
hurts.
a week ago and this conversation of things, because James was talking about shit that makes him feel like an NPC. How can people be watching these YouTube shorts? When someone cracks a joke out loud at a theater, anybody who laughs, I immediately like, you don't exist. You're not real. You can't be a real human being.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone is up above and they just hit the laugh button for you, and you went, I don't get it.
They just laugh. They laughed. They definitely laughed for the. It's an animal thing. It's like they laughed for the empathetic comfort of the other person, because their joke was so awkward and bad.
Yeah,
that person was trying to let them know that not that you're funny, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna acknowledge you so you don't like feel that.
So you don't
it's like
So you just hear one single.
You know, it's funny. I think because that happened during Spider-Man for me. I think it was. I think it was one of the parts when Tobey Maguire came on screen, and like someone in the audience was like, "Marry me, Toby," or did some dumb shit like that. I mean, they're pretty quite normal. But
He's not there, you dumbass.
But I'm pretty sure they said that, and then someone else was like, "Shut up."
That's always the best.
Yeah.
That happened all the time at the well, not to the same degree, at the senior year film festival showcase for my film school, because you show everybody, so everyone's seeing like, you know, people, because we will do stuff for other people's films, so we might.
Yeah.
James, what are you looking at?
I was just making sure all my shit's still going. Pause. Fucking camera, go!
It's okay, I have to recollect my thoughts. So it would happen all the time at the senior showcases, but it's mostly because, you know, like you would cameo in other people's films if they needed extras. So people would, at a minimum, would just be like, woo! And occasionally you would get someone trying to make like a bad joke. I don't mind that, but sometimes people would try to make like they try to make like a funny joke in the middle. And every time, like, you know, whoever was immediately around them, like they're boys because they're a funny guy, they might be like so it's always kind of just sad. But my claim to fame is that I am, to my knowledge, the only one to do it and get the whole theater bussing. And it
got the squad
literally
laughing.
got the whole squad laughing.
I did, a whole squad
laughing, bro.
And but they used to do it, and I like to think they stopped doing it because I clowned them so hard. Got the whole theater buzzing. But before the blocks, because they'd play like 4 little short films in a row, it would say like, this is by Liberty, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the things was these films have been filmed under the Liberty Way, which is basically being like, this is okay for your children to watch. It was something kind of goofy like that, and I just went, oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that before.
Yeah, I said that, and the whole theater was like, but!
I haven't. Liberty Gay.
I haven't.
This is filmed in the Liberty Gay.
Liberty Gay.
Yo, go back to school and do that. Do a social experiment. Fucking Joey Salad's video, Liberty Gay. Just film it. Set up like 14 cameras. The whole video is just waiting for that thing to come on, and you're like, oh, more like Liberty Gay.
And then the whole squad fucking bust.
There's too many children and old people there who would be like,
no, but we plant 30 fans in throughout the theater who all laugh when you say that. So just like, I like to imagine they're like lightning rods for like they laugh, and then the people around them feel comfortable laughing.
Just
yeah, exactly. And then you get the whole squad laughing. Honestly, there's been times I've just laughed at someone having a funny laugh. Like that makes me laugh more than even like the joke sometimes. Like a joke will happen in the movie and people laugh, and someone will be like, and you're like,
Kudos, you put radio jingles only people from your area would know in our talking points. Please hit that, because I want to hear what because those are always great, and I have a really good one that I found on YouTube that's like 15 years old. that I want to show you guys so badly. So
Okay,
hit that shit.
I'll
Round off the episode.
I'll rattle off the ones that came to mind for me. There's a few. I grew up in a place called Dunedin, and the city council there is obviously the Dunedin City Council, the DCC as they're called. And they always used to have these ads on the radio about like way to look after your pets, and it was always just the dumbest shit. You know, it was like, oh, don't fucking let your dog just walk around the streets like by itself after hours. Don't fucking tape a hamster up with duct tape and fuck it like a fleshlight. Just like real basic shit that you should know if you're a pet owner. But like, they're just, you know, they'd have these ads on at the end of it. They'd hit it with, you're good, James.
Oh my god.
Yo, hamster dildo got me in stitches. My fucking ribs just like my
keto
ribs just
hit.
turned into one piece of meat. Ow.
But they always ended these ads with a little jingle that went DCC, animal control, best friend to man's best friend.
Hell yeah.
Every single one, and it fucking
Let's go.
went pretty hard. So that was one, and then the other two I was thinking of, both glass repair ones for some reason. For some reason, those guys got good ass jingles. These ones are on TV, and there was one called Nova, and it was kind of a good meme because they were like, the whole thing is like, I'll bring your cracked car windshield in, and we'll repair it. But their like slogan was "Show us your crack." So the whole thing was like, it would show a picture of someone's car getting like dinged and cracked, and they'd be like, "Show us your crack," and they'd be like, "Oh, Novus," because that was the name of the. So that was one of them, and they just the ad is just that slogan like 5 times in a row. Of people like different things getting broken. There's this other one. It's not good, but it's so bad that it ends up becoming good, and it always stuck with me. It was from a place called Auckland Glass. I guess it was just a glass repair place in Auckland or something. I don't know, but they repair glass. The ad is kind of surreal. There's no music. It's just this that the most soft-spoken man you've ever seen or heard, I guess, in the world, and he just goes, Auckland Glass, and then like the image on screen shatters, and then a different image appears behind it, and he's like, cool, Auckland Glass. And then it shatters again and just goes through like different examples of things that they repair, and that's the ad. It's so creepy, just this fucking weird washed out man going, Auckland Glass.
Auckland Glass. If it's broken, call Auckland Glass.
So, you know, you got your law firms that are just like, it's fucking, it's Johnson & Johnson, fucking creaming for the last 47 years, all in the family. And so you got Johnson, you got lawyers, you got fucking like used cars, like local used car salesmen that are they just do like the and then you're like, I'm gonna save you $40, I'm gonna save you $60, I'm gonna fuck your wife, I'm gonna have sex with you, and it's just like,
What was that in the middle?
Can you touch my balls? But there was a man that started putting out commercials locally in the tri-state area. Only in the tri-state area because it was a local thing. He was a man with a dream to be the first hip-hop magician. Hip-hop meets magic. And his name was Uncle Magic with a J instead of a G. And
was he white?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
no,
was
he's
he a
black.
white guy?
He's black.
Okay.
He's
Oh,
black.
really? I would say that sounds like a very white guy
that
thing.
sounds
That does sound like a white
white.
guy thing to do. And he, like, I don't know where he got the money, but like everyone I know knows Uncle Magic. Like, and you go in the comments and it's like, yo, you didn't fucking grow up in this state or this town, or if you don't know, if you never saw this fucking, like, he had advertising money better than fucking Coca-Cola. Like, he bought slots everywhere. It was crazy all the time for years. And he only made one ad in like 2008 and ran it for like 5+ years on every kids or like teen channel imaginable in the tri-state area. So I want to show you guys this. I haven't watched it, but I know that I found it because I know what this shit looks like. But I want to see if I remember the whole thing because this shit is burned into my brain. I think I know it, but so let me.
So he was literally just a hip hop magician.
The
Like
hip
that was
hop
his
magician.
Okay, like that wasn't like a character that a used car salesman used to sell cars. He was literally
this is
a magician you could hire who did hip hop.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Let me turn my headphones up. All right.
Yo, can I get a little bit louder? Yo, turn the headphones up. Oh.
Yo, turn this shit up. All right. Hi, I'm Uncle Magic, the hip hop magician, and I'm Rakim the Clown. I'm here with celebrities call for your kid's birthday party. No, I'm who the celebrities call for your kid's birthday party. We have magic shows, balloon animals, games for kids, popcorn machines, cotton candy machines, and a bouncing castle. Call now for your kid's birthday party. 212-613-MAGIC. Who's your favorite uncle? Uncle Magic! That is the fucking
That
best.
kid comes in for like a second.
That was brilliant. 200,000 views.
That is the
Damn.
best ad in the history of my life, bro.
Magic.
That's
Who's your favorite magician?
Like he's just the whole time he's just like
Yeah, like
he's like
Yeah,
slouched over.
they couldn't tilt the camera
Hold
up for
on.
some reason.
Yeah.
I just fucking remembered there is a frame in there that is this shit. Like when me and my friends grew up and went back to look at this, it's the funniest. Let me just pull it up one more time. It's the funniest fucking frame I've ever seen in my life. Hold on. That flashes on for like 20 frames and then it's gone. It's just, it's just his fucking sidekick, just like. Watch it pop up. Just watch it pop up.
He's like posing for the picture.
It's like
Like
he-
hard cut.
It's like they were gonna
Yeah.
use a screen grab and he thought that, but then they just left him and just like slightly moving with the fucking
Yeah.
Stay
just
still, magic.
pogging. the first pog face fucking
I like
was
how
just
he's called-
wrapped in.
Yeah.
He's called Uncle Magic, but the number with a J, but the number still uses a G.
That's what I'm saying. And that's too many numbers. I never called it, so I'm assuming he just like I feel like you can pay to get a special number, but
Sure,
that's too many
yeah.
numbers,
Maybe.
bro.
That is
too many numbers.
Boys, I got to piss so
But
badly.
shout out Uncle Magic for real.
Well, kudos is gone, so should we end the episode?
No.
Andrew, what's you have any high thoughts today? You'd be like, yo, what if Pam Anderson had bigger boobs or something, you know?
Or
You
smaller
have any of those
boobs.
thoughts?
Huh.
End us on one, bro. Have a weed thought.
Have a weed.
Yeah. Give us your r/weed
Leave
thoughts.
people better than they were coming into this episode.
Yeah, give us some profound thought to end us off. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I like fat balls.
Amen.
Amen. God bless.